Right, so now I've got everything moved out, hardened off, planted out and all that kind of stuff. Time to get the greenhouse prepped for the tomatoes and stuff. Now usually I grow the cucumbers on that shelf. Tomatoes I stand in grow bags. I stand the pots, the bottomless pots in grow bags. This year I'm going to do it slightly different. I'm going to make a mini raised bed all the way around and around there. And that is going to be for the cucumbers are going to stay over that side, but the tomatoes are going to sit on some soil and stuff like that. So, you know, I keep messing around with grow bags and it would just be easy to do this. If anybody's putting a greenhouse in or planning on putting a greenhouse in, leave your soil there. Right, that's the one thing I definitely regret about this. Yes, you need a path up the middle, you need a solid base to walk on, but I wish I'd left soil around the edges for all the plants. But at the time I didn't know. So, get this done. So I've marked everything out that I need to cut. These bits here. So we'll go get that done. I'll come back and start fixing it all together. Shouldn't take long to do. Right, let's get the bits cut. Right, there we go, that's that. Let's go start fixing it all together now. Right, so I've took the shelf off where the cucumbers usually sit and I'm going to start over this edge and basically start fixing it all together and on the two corners fix it to the actual greenhouse frame itself. So, now I need to fix these two bits together, and then fix that end to the bit I've just done. So that's what these are for. Right, there we go. And now to fix the corner there. So that's that and that. Now I'll just move the camera and we'll do this other side. So on this side I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to join them two pieces and then screw it all together, and then we'll add in some more extra blocks here and there just for a bit of strength, and then we'll fix it to the actual greenhouse itself. So I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see that, but right, I'm going to have to take some off of this long one here. Mark there. Let's go get a handsaw. Right, so we'll try that all again, shall we? Right, that bit's cut now. So, how well I'm going to be able to see this. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to see this. I need to get my head under there. It'd be much easier actually if I flipped the whole thing up, wouldn't it? Yes, so I'll have to move the camera in a second, so right. Well, that didn't take too long. I'll get it all put back down and we'll come back in a second. Right, there we go then, so that's that. So what I need to do now is fix bits of wood to the back just where it's touching the actual greenhouse, just to protect the greenhouse frame itself from rotting. So that side and this side, but up against the wall will be alright. So we'll get that done. And then those back panels are what will fix the whole thing to the greenhouse, and just start shifting around once the weight of the soil and whatnot goes in there. So now for this side, I'm just going to leave that for now. I'm not going to fix it to the greenhouse yet. And do this side first, so just move you over. So that's that then. All sorted around there now. I think that should do it. So the next thing I want to do before I start filling it is I'm going to organise the strings along the roofs. So we'll get that done. I managed to get them all apart from 2. I'm going to see if I can find any more nylon stuff, because that parcel stuff is just crap. So we'll come back in a second. Right, so that's that then. So I've got 2 strings there going right down below the level of the new frame, and it's the same all the way around. It might look like it's dangling, but what I've done is I've stretched it right down, so it's, you know, basically touching the floor. So that's that. That's it for the minute. I want to get tidied up. And then we'll come back later this afternoon and start filling this, I think. And then I can get the tomatoes sorted. Right, so just doing a bit more of the greenhouse, and decided to put some gravel around edges where water could need to escape. Also we'll be put that in first, because since we'll put the gravel in, this started moving forward. So yeah, so that's that. I've also moved the sieve on top of there, ready to sieve some topsoil. There's got to be compost, topsoil mix in there. So right, so came back in this afternoon. Thought, right, great, I'll start bringing some mud through to sieve, and then went, oh no, broken wheelbarrow. So fix the wheelbarrow first. So I've marked off where I need to put the bowls, and I'm just going to drill through. Hopefully, no idea what these drill bits are like. Come back in a bit, this could take a while. Right, there we go, so I got the first 2 holes in. Now, I just need to add some spacing because of the length of the bowls. that's that. So now I just need to get the stocking set and tighten that all up. Right, so there we go, all sorted again. He is rectified. I think the wheel's a bit knackered, like I'll have a quick look at that while I'm here. There we go, just call me Beatrice Budget. The nut that goes through the thing seized on, so I couldn't knock it out. That was out really brilliant anyway. So this plant tie stuff's coming really handy. So I just basically made a spacer just to keep the bearing into the wheel. So it should work, I don't see why not. Right, so there we go. One repaired. Now working 14-year-old wheelbarrow. Sweet. Right, so once the gravel was in, we've sieved some topsoil, put that in, and I've just sprinkled some biochar over the top of that. On top of that, I'm going to add some homegrown compost and some verve compost and just give it all a good mix, and then we'll sort the pots out for the tomatoes and the cukes. So we'll come back in a bit. Right, there we go. That's that filled up. The pot's in place. The string's ready to fix to the pots. But I'm not going to do that just yet. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix some of the homegrown compost with some of the verve compost. Fill the pot about 2/3, ready to accept the plants tomorrow. This corner one is going to be the golden berry. Where's it gone? Up there. I'm going to put that in there. I think it'll do really well. The first year we had it, it was in the greenhouse. It was standing on the table and it did really well. Last year it was outside and it did okay, but I think it'll do much better with some fresh compost and stuff now, because it's been in that pot, like I say, since its first year. So I'll get this mixed up, I'll get the pots filled, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how I put the strings onto the pots. Right, so I've started doing my strings. I'm going to put the camera on the tripod and quickly show you just what I do. So we'll come back in a sec. Right. So what I've done is I've got my string hanging down and I've just cut off the excess. And I've halved the excess to give us 2 pots. So the first thing you want to do is put a knot in the end of this. Nice big chunky knot, so do it a couple of times. 2 or 3 times. There you go, so you've got a nice big chunky knot. Right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to tie our 2 offcuts around the main piece of string like that, and just put a simple knot in it, like so, tying it round and slide it down so it sits on top of the knot. First chunky knot we did, and do the same with the other piece. Hope you can see this alright, because I can't see what's happening. So, and again, just a simple knot tightened around the string and then slid down to sit on top. And then just cut off any of the raggy ends. You don't have to do that, but just keep it looking a bit tidier. And then I've already got 2 holes in the pot, one on each side. So one bit of string goes in there, which I'm just going to tie off loosely, just for the minute, like that. And then the next bit of string goes in the other one, which I'll do tight. I just want to make sure I get it roughly even. So, and just put a knot. So, and then we'll tie this one off properly. So, there you have it. It's crafty tag ends like that, and that is, I think personally, much better than just using canes. I've got some good friends who grow tomatoes, and I was actually, tomato sitting once while she was on holiday, and I went into the greenhouse and just seeing tomatoes everywhere, and I was just like, oh my god. And what had happened was the weight of them, with them only being supported by canes, they just fell over. So this is an excellent way to do it, if you ask me. I've never had any problems. So right, there you go. Right, there we go, that's that all done. I think this is going to be a really big improvement over last year, because now it's going to be much easier to water in the bottom, because as a general rule of thumb, what you really want to do with tomatoes is you want to feed at the top and water at the bottom. In the grow bags that was really difficult to do, but I think this will be much easier. And as well, I'm just going to plant my marigolds and my basil in all this in the actual trough. So I think that is going to be awesome. But that's tomorrow's job. Because it's getting late now. It is past 7 nearly. So time to go in, have a bath and have something to eat. It's getting cold as well. So right, there we go. All my strings are done. Ready to do the plants. Like I said, this is just a much safer way to do it. But there we go. So we'll come back tomorrow. While I've been doing the tomato pots, hubby has very nicely put us a little barrier in there, just to stop any mud going on the path every 2 seconds. That is really good, much better. Right, so good morning folks. In the greenhouse, time to put the tomatoes and cucumbers out. And it was frosty last night. Back here in and checked this morning, and it was above 5 degrees. Even though there's still frost out there. Now the sun's hitting the greenhouse, it's warming up quickly. So I want to get the tomatoes in now, so they've got all day in here to really get used to the climate. And I've just organised them, so I've got the cerise at that end, with the 2 money makers, the 2 golden sunrise, and the harbinger, and then obviously the cucumbers at the end. But I'm going to start over this side, just popping them in. And then I'm going to water them in with a good drink of rainwater and a strong dose of biocarbonate. I like to sit the pots in really deep. That same as when we're putting the tomatoes on. Generally, the deeper you put them, the more roots they'll have, so the stronger the plant will be. filling that in and out of the pot. Like that. Take this off. And you'll see in a second how the strings work. I'm sure you remember off last year, like, if anybody who hasn't seen. See, this is why I was desperate to get these in here. And it doesn't matter if you bury any leaves. It doesn't matter at all. You want the plant in there nice and firm. Right then. Right, so I'm putting the tomatoes in and making myself a well in the middle so that the bottom of the pot sits right down. Push the compost around it, so I'm left with the perfect shape of the small pot. Pull that out, take off me clips and stick and the label. Very carefully get the tomato out. I've left the battery on the camera, I forgot to charge it again last night. So anyway, drop your tomato into the well you made, and then what you're going to do is you're going to twist the plant very gently around the string. So I'm going to try and do this one-handed. So just use your leaves like so. So that one has come around this side, that one there, around that side, and then this new leaf at the top will go around there. And then that's it. So that's how the plant's supported, and it's not going to fall over, it's not going to do anything. So now all we need to do is just top the pot up like so and give it a water. So I'll get that done. It doesn't matter about burying leaves, it doesn't matter about that at all. But if there's going to be any leaves that are low and touching the compost, get them off. Right, so like this one will probably come off because that'll be touching the compost, but I'll do that afterwards. So I'll get it filled up and then we'll come back. There we go. As you can see, that leaf is touching the compost at the bottom. So all I'm going to do is just snip it off. Not quite at the stem, but just past. Like that. And just get rid of it. Because that's how we'll end up with disease and problems. And then we'll just give this a water in. And we'll move on to the next one. So I'll come back once I've got everything in, when I'm about to do the golden berry. Right, there we go, that's all the tomatoes and cucumbers in. And I've just done the cucumbers exactly the same way as the tomatoes. So bury deep. Any leaves that are too low, off, and just twist them up the strings. But the cucumbers eventually do put the tendrils out and get a hold of the line as well. So, right, the golden berry. I'm going to put something down on the floor. Bit of plastic there. Let's tip this out and see what we've got. There's the golden berry in as well. My 2 giant tomatoes will be repotted on soon. It'll be another week or 2 before they come out here. Well, into their big pot, and where I'll probably bring them out once I pot them on, and then just sit up there with the peppers and stuff, which I'm also going to repot on soon as well. But I think we'll get loads of fruit off that now this year. I think they are going to do really well. I'll put the little basil in as well, and it gets some more marigold seeds, some more basil. I'm going to fill around the bottoms with them as well. But it's really warming up nicely in here, but that wind is bitter out there. So not very nice outside today, I don't think. But right, that's it then folks. All done. I'll get cleaned up now what I did was with the golden berry, I took the top layer of compost off and the bottom layer of compost off. It was very root balled, and just filled it up into the new one, the bottomless pot. So that'll basically be a permanent fixture there now. So right, there we go, that's it for this one. I'll get cleaned up. And that's it. Right, there we go, that's this week's spuds in as well. And just to show you, so I've started using the 40 litre buckets as well. So in the 40 litre buckets I've put 3 spuds, and in the 30 litres I'm just sticking with the 2 with it being a May crop. So in there we've got 2 buckets of Sorpo Axona, 2 buckets of Sorpo Mira, 2 buckets of King Eddies and 2 buckets of Desirées.